Oh,
Holy fuck, that was nice. Some cool pictures.
I mean, Clint is used to like dealing with smaller things anyway, so you know, why change a habit of a lifetime?
Damn!
I know.
Disrespect you like that, Clint. You're the Aryan race, brother.
It's a curse.
All right.
Inevitable as paying taxes.
See, at least you guys get a choice. If you do it, you got to do all that stuff manually. I don't even like. It comes straight out of my paycheck. I don't even see it. I don't even get the chance to not pay it.
I mean, it comes straight out of our paychecks too.
Yeah, we don't get to adjust that shit.
Yeah, but don't you guys have like tax season and all of that shit?
Yeah, that's when they.
But if you do it wrong, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And they
It's
know
like-
exactly how much you owe. They just won't tell you. You got to figure it out for yourself.
Yes. So they can give you a refund, which they already know what's going to be anyway.
Why are you guys so backwards?
I don't know. Fucking military-industrial complex, maybe?
I mean, when it comes to like a refund for mine, I don't even notice it. Like, we don't even get told. We used, up to like a few years ago, you had to do the whole, tax back application, all of that. They don't even bother with that now. They just do it straight away. You just look in your bank account. Oh, I've got $300. Sweet. Yeah.
Model money. I mean, savings.
Yeah. You think I've
Here's
got
right
model
there,
money? You know the most I've spent on a model in the last 9 months.
I just heard fucking Clint's thing go off. How much have you spent?
The most I've spent is literally $40, and that's just what I've bought for the 48 and 48 challenge.
Oh man.
Yeah, like I'm
sorry.
averaging spending like $20 on a model at the moment, so I'm doing pretty well.
Hey, I'll be right back. It's like I got to put one of the dogs up.
Very well.
Let's see. How well can I do this one? I want to get this on.
That was pretty fucking good.
Is that good? Not as good as the intro one. I don't think I'm ever going to beat that one, eh?
Yeah, no, that was fucking. That was like top shit.
That was just a proper pull. That was a proper rip. Have you ever heard the saying? There's a saying down here for when you're playing with yourself. It's called ripping the ears off it. Have you ever heard of that one?
No, what the fuck?
You just go, oh, he's just by himself ripping the ears off it.
Oh my god, that's great.
Down here, Aussie and Kiwis, we have the best fucking sayings, eh? I mean, my favorite, the one I use all the time is she'll be right. And that's just for like anything. It's like, you think it'll be good? Nah, she'll be right, mate.
Yeah, I'm back.
Well, we have to teach people. If you ever come to New Zealand and ask us a question, you will be very confused to the answer.
Oh, more than likely.
Well, because we do the yeah nah thing. If you ask a Kiwi like a standard yes no question, we'll reply with yeah nah yeah nah yeah.
Yeah, you're damn right I'd be confused. What the fuck?
What you got to do is you got to count the yeses versus nos, and depending on which one is the start. So so yeah nah yeah. Well, that's a yes. Nah yeah nah. That's a no. Or you could be a yeah nah. It all depends on connotation, you see. But yeah, when people come around here and ask us a question, they walk away with even more confusion than what they started with. And we love it. It's just like, yeah, nah, mate, yeah.
The devils of the down under land.
We love to get down under.
Should have seen that one coming.
And on that, welcome to the Micro Machines podcast. This week we'll be talking about the M8 Greyhound, and all about it and how you can build it. But first, let's do some introductions. So you have, as usual, in the usual order, you have me, Callum, coming from New Zealand, and I am drinking currently a Boundary Road Brewery's Hazy Pale Ale, and she's damn fine.
You got me, Garrison, out here in Kansas, living it up in the Midwest, drinking a fucking black coffee with milk and pure maple syrup, getting ready to read slides.
Yeah.
And I am Clint here in Indiana, the true Midwest. And
Boo.
I have
Them's
a
fighting
Pepsi.
words. What are you drinking again?
Pepsi.
That's a controversial take.
How about you gentlemen have yourselves a Pepsi?
Oh, God. Hey, wait a second, I've heard this before.
I love spies like us.
Wait, what? Oh, fucking
Old
Christ.
movie before your time.
Yeah, I forget you're an old man.
Hey, you're not far behind me.
Yeah.
That is true. How the fuck did it? What's going on here? How can I no? Slight technical hitch. How the hell do I put this into bloody thing? There it is. All right. So Garrison is deciding to lead us this week on the M8 Scout Car, also known as the Greyhound. Take it away.
All right, so this is the M8 Scout Car Greyhound, one of the peeping toms of armored fighting vehicles. So the introduction, the M8 Greyhound was the that was you should have done that like 0.5 of a second sooner. That would have been amazing.
Oh, excuse me. Needed that. Okay, go ahead. We are professionals here. Don't forget that.
Yes, 100% totally professionals. All right.
Totally fooled me.
All right, introduction. The M8 Greyhound was the only armored car that the U.S. utilized in combat during World War II. It was originally a response to the U.S. Army's request for a new anti-tank vehicle. Its small 37mm gun and light armor forced its redesignation as a reconnaissance vehicle. With its high speed and quiet engine, the Greyhound was well adapted to its purpose, though its off-road capabilities left much to be desired. It was hastily introduced in Italy in 1943, but it also played a role in the Pacific, where it could serve its original purpose as a tank destroyer. While retired from American service after the Korean War, the M8 saw service in many developing countries as late as the 21st century.
That's got to be a bit insulting to the Japanese, isn't it? It's like
A little
over in
bit.
Europe, it's a scout car. Over here, it's a tank destroyer.
It does sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got to feel a little bit insulted by that. It's like, oh really?
Come on, guys.
Ugh.
All right, so I've gathered some stats here. Number produced, we have 8,523.
Jesus.
Which, honestly, that's like kind of insane.
And yet, there's not many that you can buy nowadays.
Yeah. It crewed 4. The main armament was a 37mm M6 anti-tank gun. Other armaments would consist of a 30 and or 50 cal. The engine was a Hercules JXD, horsepower of 110. Max speed was 56 miles an hour. Weight was 8.2 tons. Length was 16.5 feet or 5 meters. Width was 8 feet 4 inches or 2.53 meters. And its height was 7 feet or 7.5 feet at 2.26 meters.
So that's about 1.3 Columbi.
Yes.
How much armor did it have?
I think it's later on in the slides. I think it was, it was thin as shit. It could stop. The front armament could stop at 50 cal, but the side armament could only stop at 30.
I mean, for a light car, that's still not bad. I mean, at least the Germans didn't have 50 cals.
Yeah, but they had fucking auto cannons.
Yeah, that's true. One of those flak veering or whatever they call them.
A fucking
Yeah.
looks or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to say though, 56 miles an hour, 90 kilometers an hour, that would be a bit scary in a
Yeah, that's
vehicle like
shitting and
that.
getting.
Well, they could only do that on paved roads.
Well, still.
Yeah, something that the countryside of Italy is well known for.
hmm
So is that a 8-cylinder engine then?
Yes, I believe so.
It seems weird. 110 horsepower doesn't seem like a lot. Like when you versus say a tank, like what could a Maybach produce horsepower wise was something like 900. Like high torque, like extremely high torque. It seems weird. Like when you look at like numbers for horsepower, it doesn't seem to match up with what you think is required.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. So, where did Greyhound, the name Greyhound, come from? While in British service, the M8 was known as the Greyhound, a service name seldom, if ever, used by the U.S. The British Army found it too lightly armament, partially the whole floor, or particularly the whole floor, which anti-tank mines could easily penetrate. Fun fact, the crew's solution to the lightly armored floor was lining the floor of the crew compartment with sandbags.
Hmm.
And you get a nice little picture. The only picture I could find of a British M8. Literally could not find any others.
It's kind of rare for a British vehicle as well. To have the 50 on top of it. Are you sure those are British?
I'm
They look British.
fairly certain. I don't think they're French.
Well, I'm just looking at what this guy's got. If you can see my cursor,
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is.
like it kind of,
It,
I can't attribute it to. It kind of looks like that French Mars 38
God
submachine
damn
gun,
it.
or it could be a Bren, like the first half of a Bren.
I don't know.
But what's also weird to me is if British, they usually didn't have the 50 cal on it. The British went big on the 50s, and it's got a spotlight on it. I've never seen that before on a Greyhound. That it's got
I
that
haven't
that
either.
light. That is interesting. I'm seeing a lot of interesting things on this one.
at the same time though, it's like I've never seen American troops in berets, so it's got to be French or British.
Yeah,
So yeah, I don't think they're French because the French had a lot. They put a lot of fucking markings on their M8s, and there's
Could it
like
possibly be Polish?
it.
could
It might be
be.
Belgian.
Yeah,
It
because
could
now
be.
because now I'm seeing this
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. I just
That
looked at
looks
that
like a
too.
medicine. That looks like a medicine. Like you got or is it just like an optical illusion? I don't know. Am I looking too far into it?
I don't know. That's
Hey, okay.
I Google searched British M8 Scout car, and this was like the third image that came up, and the rest were all American. So I was like, "Fuck it, they got berets. It's British."
Okay, maybe it's just my wishful thinking of a diorama where you have a guy with a Muzz 36 or 38 and a Madsen MG. I don't know. Maybe it's just my imagination going wild on it. It's
I
what I
mean,
want. It's what I want. All right.
just wait until the end, and your imagination will run fucking wild with this thing.
Can't wait.
All right, so development and production, part one. In July of 1941, the U.S. Army Ordnance Department initiated the development of a new fast tank destroyer to replace the M6 37mm gun motor carriage, which was essentially a three-quarter ton truck with a 37mm gun installed on the rear bed. The requirement for this new tank destroyer was for a 6x4 wheeled vehicle armed with a 37mm gun, a coax machine gun mounted in a turret, and a machine gun in the front hull. Its glacis armor was supposed to withstand fire from a 50 cal machine gun, while the side armor from a 30 cal machine gun. Prototypes were submitted by Studebaker, the T21, Ford, the T22, and Chrysler, the T23, all of them quite similar in design and appearance.
Have you seen what an M6 GMC looks like?
Yes, that thing looks fucking tits.
I know. I think Italeri are the only ones that do it in 35th scale, and I want one desperately. They look so cool.
I did one in 72nd scale
Did
a
you?
long time ago. Yeah.
I don't remember
that.
ever seeing a photo of that.
It was a quick commission build I did for a fucking AAV
Right. Okay.
a long time ago.
So let's have a look. T21, T22, and T23.
Can you guess which one won?
It looks like Ford got it.
Yeah. What is
Ford.
funny though is how closely the designs are to each other. So everyone was on the same sort of idea of what they wanted,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting. That when you look at prototypes, when companies are asked, we want this, and this, how similar the designs are. It's like clearly this is what everyone thinks is the best idea, but it's just a weird sort of thing you notice. It's just like how similar different companies get it.
I mean, it looks like
Yeah.
Chrysler just didn't even try though.
For real? It was like he
It's like-
draws a kid.
Chrysler is the group build that didn't finish it in time.
Right?
Yes.
All right. So, development and production part 2. In April of 1942, the T-22 was selected, despite complaints about deficiencies due to the need for vehicles. By then, it was clear that the 37mm gun would not be effective against the front armor of German tanks. So, the new armored car, now designated the M8, took on a reconnaissance role instead. Contract issues and minor design improvements delayed serial production until March of 1943. Production ended in June 1945. A total of 8,523 M8s and 3,791 M20 armored cars were built. The M8s and M20s were manufactured at Ford Motor Company plants in Chicago, Illinois, and St. Paul, Minnesota. The St. Paul plant built 6,397 M8s to Chicago's 2,126. The 3,791 M20s were produced at the Chicago plant only. Then you got some really neat pictures of the M20 and M8 on the side there.
I do like the M20. I mean, it's literally just an M8 without the turret, but
Oh yeah.
I'd love to have one. Although, weirdly enough, in my hobby store that I go to, they're selling the Tamiya M8 Greyhound and the M20 utility truck. And side by side, the utility truck was more expensive than the Greyhound. And it's like, but it's literally the Greyhound with less stuff. Why does it cost more?
Yeah,
It's literally the same kit. They just didn't include the fucking turret.
Does the M20 happen to have more interior details, or
No.
I don't think so.
No, it doesn't.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, I know. I was like, hang on a minute, this doesn't make sense.
There wasn't much interior detail to begin with, anyways, and then they don't add much more. That's for the M20. That's kind of sad.
Yeah. But it is funny that the M20 does look like a seriously good vehicle. Like it does look good even without the turret. So
Yeah, it does. I mean, you got a fucking 50 on a rotating turret. I mean, that's fucking tits.
I mean, that would make traffic jams a lot easier to go through.
All right, so mission and operational performance part 1. The cavalry reconnaissance troops assigned to infantry divisions and squadrons assigned to armor divisions were used at the discretion of a division or corps commander. They served as the eyes and ears of the unit. This required speed and agility. When on the march, the cavalry was to make contact with enemy forces at the earliest practical moment and maintain it thereafter. The reconnaissance troops identified hostile units and reported their strength, composition, disposition, and movement. During withdrawals, the cavalry often served as a screening force for the main units. That would suck. The M8 was not designed for offensive combat, and its firepower was adequate only against similar lightly armored enemy vehicles, bunkers, entrenchments, and infantry. As stated before, with only the unarmored hull pan to serve as a floor armor, the M8 was particularly vulnerable to mines. This made it difficult to take the fight to the enemy in a lot of situations, as the Germans typically had fairly good defenses, including AT mines, AT guns with solid fields of fire, etc.
I mean, what vehicle wasn't vulnerable to mines? To be honest,
yeah,
or
true.
are they meaning anti-personnel mines? In which case, that really sucks.
I know they mentioned anti-tank mines. Like, these things would fucking go up if it went over an AT
There'd be
mine.
nothing left.
There on the right is actually a picture. I think that was from Italy. Uh, it's a M8 crew who was shot outside of their scout car, and that was one of the only destroyed pictures I could find of an M8. But it's like sitting there in the ditch. That would make for a really cool fucking diorama because in the back there.
Yeah.
So that,
What's up with the front of that M8?
I think it got hit.
Yeah,
gonna-
it's splintered pretty good too.
Yeah, I was going to say that's either a Canadian M8 looking at the pattern, or that's where it got penetrated by something.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that's where it got penetrated because those are U.S. troops, and there was a couple U.S. troops in the background I had to cut out to make the picture fit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that.
That was a
What the
low
hell
shot
hit it?
too. Jesus.
Yeah. What the hell was that hit it? Because clearly it didn't detonate.
Probably like maybe an armor piercing round from like a fucking Panzer IV or something.
yeah. I say it, like you said, it didn't detonate. It just punched right through and
Yeah.
hit the poor bastard that was behind it.
Ugh.
Probably took his leg off and then took the leg off the commander and the gunner and
Took the engine out on the way out.
yeah.
Uh,
I don't know if it hit the engine. That may have been solid enough to detonate it.
Unless it was a solid shot, and then
Yeah.
I don't know what the Germans used at that time.
No idea.
All right, so mission and operational performance part 2. The M8/M20's other drawback was limited mobility in muddy/broken terrain or heavily wooded areas. The use of wheels rather than continuous tracks like a tank gave it a higher ground pressure, which hampered its off-road performance in such terrain. Armored cavalry units preferred using the quarter-ton Willys Jeep in these environments. With its large turning radius, limited wheel travel, and open differentials, these problems limited its cross-country mobility and made the M8 susceptible to immobilization by off-road and off-chambered terrain. This led operators to using the vehicle mostly on existing roads and paths, where it became vulnerable to ambushes. However, the performance of the M8 on hard surfaces was exceptional, with the vehicle having a long range and able to consistently maintain its top speed of 55 miles an hour. As a wheeled vehicle, the M8 was generally more reliable than track vehicles of similar sizes, requiring far less maintenance and logistical support compared to that of track vehicles. Just keep that in mind for later.
Hey, look, it's a Stug in its natural environment.
That is exactly why I kept the Stug in the picture. I was hoping Don would be here to appreciate it, but I'll have to appreciate it later.
You know what I love about the M8 Greyhound, and then like a lot of American vehicles, all the stowage is on the outside.
Yep.
Like you can
Just
even
a
see
little
like a 50 cal belt hanging down the side. This is a cool diorama.
That would be fucking awesome with the Stug in the ditch.
Yeah. Although
Do the part of that building in the background there. And...
All right, so World War II, Part 1. The M8 entered combat service with the Allies in 1943 during the invasion of Sicily. Its purpose was to serve as the primary, basic, command and communications combat vehicle of the U.S. Cavalry reconnaissance troops. It was subsequently used by the U.S. Army in Italy, Northwest Europe, and the Pacific. In the latter theater, it was used mostly on Okinawa and the Philippines, and was even employed in its original tank destroyer role, as most Japanese tanks had armor that was vulnerable to the 37mm gun, aka their bitches.
AKA get wrecked.
Don't mess with our boats. Over 1,000 were supplied via Lend-Lease to U.S. allies, the United Kingdom, Free France, and Brazil. In the European theater, the M8 received varied acceptance, and its on-road performance was generally good, and it was armed and armored well enough for reconnaissance missions. On the contrary, the turning radius was considered too wide, and the engine was considered underpowered, routinely experiencing problems such as overheating from being run at high output continuously, and or having its ventilation levers obstructed by personal equipment stored on the rear of the vehicle. That's such an American thing.
That is not so. That's user fucking. That's a
That's
user
user
issue,
error.
not a. It's like
Yeah.
this engine
Yeah.
shit we used. It's like this engine shit we're using it wrong and it breaks.
Uh, Large numbers were regularly under repair, gaining
What
the
a-
vehicle a reputation of being unreliable. What's up?
Hey, they're copying the Germans.
Right? Except our supplies can keep up.
Yeah, and you don't have to take half the tank apart just to get to the transmission.
Right? Fucking Krauts. And off-road mobility, especially on soft ground like mud or snow, was poor. In the mountainous terrain of Italy and in the northwest European winter, the M8 was more or less restricted to roads, which greatly reduced its value as a reconnaissance vehicle. Then you got a
Again,
dope-ass picture of the M8 with a 50.
again, another great diorama you can make there with
Yes.
the hedges on either side. And an
Yes.
is that an M3
Three?
Scout car behind it?
I think so.
Because the half-track version didn't have that roller, did it?
Mm-mm.
No,
I don't know. It kind of looks like a half track, doesn't it?
I'm not
I can't
sure.
tell from how small the screen is. Hang on, let me
Yeah.
make it bigger.
I don't know because it could be M5 half-track or an M3
I
Scout.
actually think it's a half track. Actually, I don't know. I can't tell. No, it's a scout car because it doesn't have that big ass fucking window. I don't think it does. I can't tell.
Yeah, we need to reset because I always thought the half-track didn't have the big ditch roller on the front, but what did it?
It
I
did.
don't know.
I need to look that up. Apparently, the M3 Scout car is an amazing vehicle to maintain. Apparently, it's super simple.
American made. All right, World War II Part 2. In
Ew.
February 1944, an add-on armor kit was designed to provide an extra quarter-inch of belly armor to reduce landmine vulnerability. Another problem was that the commanders often used their reconnaissance squadrons for fire support missions, for which the thinly armored M8 was ill-suited. When it encountered German armored reconnaissance units, the M8 could easily penetrate their armor with its 37mm gun. Conversely, its own thin armor was vulnerable to the 20mm autocannons that German scout cars were equipped with. Due to the mobility problems with the M8, namely with regards to its suspension, the U.S. Army's Special Armored Vehicle Board, who the fuck made that up, recommended that development of the new six-wheeled armored car, which matched the M8's dimensions and size, but was equipped with an articulated, independently sprung suspension system. Two prototypes, the Studebaker-developed T-27 armored car and the T-28 designed by Chevrolet, were trialed by the U.S. and also reviewed by the British Armed Forces. Although the T-28 was standardized as the M28 and marked for production by Ford, the new armored car program was shelved and then permanently canceled due to the end of the war, as funding for the new military development projects had plummeted. The fleet of M8 and M20 armored cars already available was then considered more than adequate for the post-war U.S. Army, which was demobilizing thousands of personnel and already had large numbers of stockpiles and equipment surplus in its requirements.
Since when has that ever stopped the US?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, have they ever heard of the military-industrial complex? Like, come on, people, that's how we make money.
I know.
Uh,
You know,
the
when
Yeah,
you're building
because
T-27,
when
the
you're building
T-27,
Abrams that goes straight to the graveyard.
right? I just want to say this: the T-27 gives me BMP 70 vibes.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. The M28, that thing's slapping. That thing looks
Yeah,
good.
it looks like a fucking, like you said earlier, the goddamn KV-1 turret on a fucking Range Rover or something,
Yeah.
Land
I
Rover,
love the fact that it's got an actual windscreen as well with a wiper.
right? Driver comfort, baby.
Yep.
I don't know. What I think is funny is the U.S. Army asked for a six-wheeled vehicle, and Studebaker's like, "How about 8?"
Right?
It's like we had a couple spare, so we just chucked them on.
Like,
We
I know
don't
you said
mind.
6, but look at this.
It's like, but what about 8?
All right,
Ooh,
so
well, that's some good pictures.
yes, so looking through reference photos for the M8 and M20, which makes me really want to build another one. Uh, Found some cool photos. So the top left, I'll go top left to right, and then bottom left to right. Top left, you got a Greyhound in Italy, and then you have a Greyhound in the Philippines hunting for a sniper. Then you get a Greyhound that is recaptured by the Americans that was once captured by the Germans, which that would make a really cool diorama. Then you've got a Greyhound on the bottom left during the Battle of the Bulge with snow chains on this tire. Then you got a M20, which was, I believe, that was in Normandy. I can't remember. And then an M20, also Normandy. So fun stuff.
Huh, right outside the
the-
Hotchkiss plant. That's cool.
Huh?
The picture of the bottom left. It's like that is a great reference of how snow can pack into tires. There's no snow packed into the
Yes.
tread, but all around the hub there is snow packed in.
Yes.
That is cool. And the whitewash. That whitewash is sexy.
fucking tech.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is cool.
I bet you if you made a model exactly like that with the snow not packed in the treads but packed in the fucking wheel, people would bitch. I'd be like, that's not actually how that works. Snow doesn't
Yeah.
work like that. That's not how weathering is.
Also, look
That's
at the
when you
Yep.
Oh, I say that's when you print out the picture and set it next to it.
Right?
Yeah, never look at it. I like the Philippine one. Look at the mud on the rear fender.
Yeah.
On the outs, like how do you get that on the outside?
That's probably turning to the left really sharp and then hitting a puddle or
Yeah.
something maybe.
I
Yeah.
like how they're hunting for a sniper and that dude is just sitting out in the open.
Same with the guy to the left of him. They're
Yeah,
just
it's just like we're sitting there. It's like we're hunting a sniper. It's like okay, you do you.
Are you sure or are you being bait? Like, come on.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Yeah, I'd like to find more reference photos of Pacific Theater stuff like the Greyhound and Shermans and shit because that stuff is so cool.
Yeah, the Pacific Theater did not get enough attention from modeling.
It does not, which is so sad because there's so many great things people could do.
I know,
Yeah.
it's like
Foreshadowing.
I want more US Marine kits.
Yes.
Why can't we get
Yes.
that?
You know
I
how
want some like
Yep.
resin printed combat posed Marines and soldiers and New Zealanders and Australians and Filipino resistance and Japanese. Like that shit would be fucking tits.
I mean, I'll take anything at this point.
Yeah, like even like the Burma bloody theater. You know, you had the Sikhs and stuff like that, and the Gurkhas.
Oh yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a Indian service figure ever.
I've actually made one and a Gurkha in the same kit. It's the Dragon Monte Cassino figures. You got two because you can change them out to you can have all four as Sikh, all four as British, all four as Gurkhas, or you can mix and match, which I did. I did two British, a Gurkha, and a Sikh in one diorama.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
I think.
Yep.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think like that's the. Why do I want to say like something like Master Box has brought out some Sikh soldiers? I'm
I
sure I've
think
seen another company that do them.
Yeah, I think Masterbox also did a group of where they be Turkish soldiers with the fezzes and
Oh yeah, that's cool. I would love to have that.
except they was probably some of the most brutal SS soldiers ever. But
Yeah, but rule of cool, they have a fez.
no, true.
You know what I would love to see?
What?
Somebody like Tamiya or Tacom doing like a series of both Japanese and Marines, a series of battle at Tarwa, like because Tarwa lasted 3 days, right? So they could do like a series, like 2 kits per side, so 4 kits each day of like different vehicles and shit that were on the island because there were a lot of Shermans that they could go after, a lot of really great infantry stuff, and then the Japanese stuff as well. Like they could have like a destroyed Zero on the fucking runway, like anti-tank gun. That shit would be so fucking cool. Make it like a series.
Well, actually, that would be quite good because the Japanese on Tarawa weren't army.
No, they were the naval infantry,
The
right?
naval infantry, which
Mhm.
did they have a different uniform to the standard army, or were they like basically samesies?
I'm
They're
pretty sure
much
they
the
had a
same.
different uniform.
Really, I thought they was pretty much the same.
I think it was a lighter green color, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, if they had a different uniform, they have to bring out that because Like, there's not enough there isn't enough Pacific War stuff. Japanese, U.S. Marines, all of that. We need more.
Dude, I got that the Bloody Alto series from Masterbox, the U.S. Marine Corps Infantry on Tarwa kit for Christmas because
Nice.
of a build I'm doing soon. And like, yeah, it's great that Masterbox does this, but like the molds are old as shit. Like I'm looking at them right now, and they're so fucking bad. Like they're
Huh.
gonna need a lot of fucking work to make them look nice. Which is whatever. I mean, I'll happily do it, but like, it's just, oh god, shouldn't have to. There should be newer stuff. Like that was such a big theater in the war.
I know, and
It's
it's so
not.
big. That's like they call it America's War, not the European theater. Like the Pacific was America's War. You'd think there'd be more to it.
You
That'd
would
be
think
like
so.
a big market.
Like the amount of like, because that's something else too. Like Tamiya, for example, could really run with that. With the amount of different, like they already have a bunch of Shermans. If they wanted to be cheap, which I don't think they would, with how they're retooling kits, they could make new Shermans in different Sherman variants in the Pacific,
Yeah, but
like the wood sides and.
but Tamiya being from Japan, wouldn't that be a conflict of interest?
I mean,
Hey, they said they was never gonna produce a kit of the Lightning since it was a plane that shot down Yamamoto, but they did that eventually anyway.
Yeah, because they knew how much money they'd get from it.
yeah, that's
And
true.
I would want to buy another one because it is a excellent kit.
Is that the one that's got the? It's that pilot that had the portrait of his wife, and then they got the decal for that.
Mm.
Isn't that the new one they brought out in 48th?
I'm not sure about the new one.
They brought out. I swear they brought out a new one, and the decal it was for a specific pilot, and his nose art for his Lightning was a portrait of his wife, and it was like takes
Yeah.
up a large area, and they did that decal. It looks really good. I think
I'll
that was
look
the
that
new
up.
one they released.
To me, it did come out with a set of Japanese officers. I think a year and a half ago. I got it. It's actually very nice for Tamiya figures.
And they've also got the 35th scale, the Japanese fire team,
Mm.
the Japanese Army Infantry, which I mean,
You know,
I'm looking at them right now, and they're okay. They're not really like compared to the German figures from like the 70s. They're better. Like they'd be
I
a
hope
lot
so.
easier to work with. Oh yeah, I know, right?
you know what I want?
Like,
Later war Japanese when they had you see them and they got the foliage sticking off their gear and stuff like that.
mhm.
Like I want that as figures. Like Japanese soldiers like in jungles with the foliage and stuff like that on them. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Just get some photo etch plants. You see the problem with that?
You lost me at photo etch.
Yeah, well, not
Okay,
only
well then,
that, but like the problem with that is like we shouldn't have to fucking.
I know.
Yeah.
Gonna get my blood
look up
pressure.
Diorama Precipe.
A what?
Diorama Precipe.
What the fuck? Diorama. How do you
Put a
spell it?
put a picture in podcast planning.
Oh wait, I found it.
Oh, there you go.
Home video games. Da, 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 da. Okay, what about it? Oh shit.
That is where I get my foliage from. They
Holy
are
shit.
excellent.
Roots and oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, I think Garrison's about to spend all the money he's been saving up.
You're damn right. Look at this shit.
Who cares about a
Holy-
mortgage payment?
Yeah, fuck it. We'll move somewhere else. God damn.
And what I do is, it's like when I buy stuff, instead of like going through like the hundreds of stuff that he actually has in his shop, I get on his Etsy store and I buy the large random box, which is like $80, but you get like $120 worth of stuff. It's just you just don't get to pick it.
That's cool.
Dude, he's got a fucking apple tree. Oh my god. Palm trees?
Garrison's
Jesus
making an
Christ.
orchard.
Bro. Dude, this shit is insane. For $20? Oh my god. You shouldn't
If
have
I-
shown this to me.
I know. I've told you about this guy before.
Clint,
Yeah, and I've
Beth
got
is going to
shit
kill
memory.
you.
Yeah, I'm about to say when we see each other in fucking October again, my Beth is gonna kill you.
She'll walk up to Clint, be like, "Hey, Clint, where's my money? Where's my money gone?"
Where's my
Garrison
money, man?
mentioned your
Where's my
name.
money? Shoots me in both kneecaps.
Oh my god, they got a fucking lamppost for like. Oh my, that is great.
I swear I've never heard anyone get excited about a lamppost before.
You know how many times I've looked for like proper lampposts to put in dioramas that aren't like I have to 3D print myself and I can't find any because they're all railroad scale.
Or
This shit
mini
is
art.
amazing. Or mini art. Yeah, fuck that shit.
I say get on his Etsy page, man. It's shipping's cheaper and everything on his Etsy.
Where? How do I find his Etsy? Let's see.
Just search Diron Precipe on Etsy.
Okay. Okay, I'll have to do that later. We got a podcast to record. Fuck.
So you can cream yourself later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting flustered over here. Shit.
Be like,
All right.
Beth will be like, Garrison, are you looking at pinups again? No. Lampposts.
Hey, there's an apple tree in there too.
Yeah. All right. Post World War II, Part 1. After the war, many of the U.S. Army's M8 and M20s were marked off as surplus and donated or sold to various countries, especially under the Foreign Military Assistance Program. Most of the remaining vehicles stayed in service with the United States and various Western European nations. M8s were also used by American/Canadian occupation forces in Korea, which later donated them to the fledgling Republic of Korea Army's 1st Armored Cavalry Regiment. Oh shit. Ooh. All right. Most M8s and M20s remaining in the U.S. service had been allocated to one of 5 reorganized armored cavalry regiments by the early 1950s. The others were utilized by military police, assholes, which deployed them during the Korean War for guarding static installations and escorting prisoners. A small number of M20s were mobilized by the U.S. and South Korean forces as assault vehicles equipped with ring-mounted flamethrowers during the conflict. That is badass. All the U.S. Army M8s and M20s were retired from active duty due to age and increasing obsolescence. God, I can't say that word.
Obsolescence.
Thank you. Shortly after the Korean War, the majority of decommissioned vehicles were then shipped abroad as aid to various armies, especially the French Far East Expeditionary Corps, save for a small number which were retained by Army National Guard units. Now, when the Army National Guard units retired them a few years later, an undisclosed number were purchased by domestic police departments and modified for riot control purposes, which you can see there on the right.
Oh, that's cool.
Hell yeah.
Thought you guys would like that.
Although I'm more interested in the ring-mounted flamethrower.
Yeah, I figured you'd
Yeah.
like that too.
Where's that option on here?
Yeah, where's that photo? That's cool.
Sold out.
And if you ask why a police department needs something like this, it is the same. Imagine your football team over there losing. It's the same here. When a college football team loses, especially a big game, it's like idiots go nuts.
Bro, can you imagine like being a M8 scout crewman during like all of World War II? You get out, you go work at some fucking manual labor job, and then later on you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna join the police force, and then like you get put with a fucking Greyhound again.
You'd be like, oh, fuck.
No, not again.
This
What would-
piece of shit.
Can you imagine
Yeah,
though? They got the state police ones, and suddenly somewhere in Korea, a whole battalion get their M20s. It's like, hang on, why's it got state police written on it? Meanwhile, the police get the M20s with the flamethrower.
Oh fuck, we
It's like,
sent the
turn
wrong
on the
batch.
hose.
Let's light this candle.
I'd be interested to see what colors they painted that, because you can see the hull is
Dark
definitely
blue.
black, but what's the top?
No, the hole was dark blue.
Oh,
Yeah, it looked weird.
I mean, that would
No,
look
it looks
kind of
weird.
cool.
It looks weird. It does not look right.
doesn't it?
Not
I'm gonna have to
at all.
search up a color photo of it.
You'll have to. There's like 2 of them I found. It did not look good. That's why I didn't add them.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
There's one of it being loaded onto a trailer that's colorized.
Utility car, police.
Man, looking at these Japanese figures, I kind of want to build them. God damn it, Garrison.
Can't find one in any police colors. Oh.
You found it?
I found something that's blue, a modified. Great. What did someone do to this poor thing? What have they done? I'll post this in podcast planning. This thing is that poor M8. What have they done to it?
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Oh, hang on. Podcast planning, image, and sending it. Oh
God! What the fuck? That is so Eastern European.
That is so.
Holy shit!
That
poor baby.
I mean,
looks like something you see in Fallout.
Kinda.
Yeah. If you
imagine
find
you served in one and like your neighbor brings that home and you're just looking at it like, what the fuck did they do to my baby?
They made it better.
God. All right. Post World War II, Part 2. France was the largest post-war operator of the M8/M20 series after the United States, having received hundreds of the vehicles as American aid between 45 and 54. During the First Indonesian War, many second-hand examples were shipped directly from the U.S. to Indonesia, where they were deployed for rural patrols and road reconnaissance. These remained in service in Indonesia until the end of the war, when they were donated to the Army of Republic of Vietnam, ARVN. The French Foreign Legion also utilized the M8 during the Algerian War, where it was superseded first by the Panhard EBR and subsequently by the Panhard AML in counterinsurgency operations. The EBR was accepted as a generic replacement for all remaining M8s by the French military in 1956. Between 1956 and 1964, the remaining M8s and M20s were donated to the Mobile Gendarmerie, whatever, as well as the armies of several former French colonies.
Just want to say, Garrison, you're saying Indonesia, you meant to say Indochina, which is Vietnam.
Yeah.
We're going to get a lot of people saying it's not Indonesia, it's Indochina, which is Vietnam. So.
Oh, Christ, yeah, my bad.
Putting it on record. Don't worry, we meant Indochina. Don't worry, don't email us. Yeah,
I'm off my sleep schedule. Suck my cock. Anyways. ARVN, M8, and M20s saw considerable action during the Vietnam War. However, by 1962, the U.S. noted the attrition rate of the fleet was becoming high due to age. What, cat? Fuck off. Did y'all hear my cat cry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck your podcast, I'm hungry.
It's essentially what he's wanting. Alright, fuck, where was I? Okay. This resulted in a proposal to fund the design and production of a new purpose-built armored car for the South Vietnamese government. The Cadillac Gauge Commando. The Commando series began to replace the M8 and M20 in ARVN service from the mid-1960s onward. A small number of the older armored cars were still held by the ARVN series or reserves as late as 1975. These were inherited by the People's Army of Vietnam after the war. Another country, right? Another country which received a substantial number of ex-American inmates following the war was Belgium, which received them as part of a NATO military assistance program. The inmates were adopted primarily by the Belgian Air Component, which issued them to base security units and Force Publique, I don't know how to say that, in the Belgian Congo. Following Congolese independence, Several of the force publique, whatever, M8s fell into the hands of the. I feel like I'm reading the fucking Old Testament. Goddamn, the Katangese separatists, while others
Catanese.
were. Thank you. While others were repurposed for peacekeeping operations by the United Nations operation in the Congo. And
Okay,
there you
that
can
M8
see
with the camo, I gotta know what colors they put in, because if that's a Congo one, they did some interesting things.
they did, and it is a Congo one.
I guess a. Oh, okay. I was about to say it's like the next slide. So I'm gonna say greens and browns. And
All right.
What have they done to it?
Yeah. So.
What have they done to that in the middle photo? What is that?
All right. So
it's missing some wheels.
the continued proliferation of M8 and M20s during the late 1960s and the 70s resulted in American and French defense contractors offering several commercial upgrade kits to extend their service life. At least 10 countries, okay, forgive me for my fucking butchering this entire episode, Cameroon, Cyprus, Ethiopia, El Salvador, Guatemala, Haiti, Jamaica, Morocco, Venezuela, and Zaire, whatever the fuck, modernized their M8 and M20 fleets with diesel engines and new transmissions during this time. The National Army of Colombia, cocaine, also invested heavily in upgrading the M8 turrets armament, having it replaced by a single 50 cal machine gun and a launcher for BG M71 TOW anti-tank missiles. In the late 1960s, Brazil developed and upgraded M8 with an articulated suspension, new gearbox, and a new engine built with parts that could be sourced locally. This project spawned a series of Indonesian prototypes, including a bizarre
Indigenous.
four-wheeled variant. God damn, I'm sorry, I can't read. Indigenous prototypes, including a bizarre four-wheeled variant of the M8 chassis known as the VBB, and other more conventional six-wheeled design known as the VBR2. The latter subsequently evolved into the first Brazilian manufactured armored car, the EE-9 whatever.
Cascavel, I
Thank
think
you.
it is.
Yeah.
That four-wheel thing, it looks like one of those vehicles that comes out of Ghana or something like that.
That's
Yeah,
the
that
VBB.
they just slapped it together from spare parts.
Yeah, it looks horrendous as hell.
So you can see on the left, obviously the M8, and then in the middle is the VBB, and on the right there, I believe that was the VBR-2.
Okay, the Dash 2 looks good. I'll give it
Yeah,
that.
it looks like some HIDF shit.
They clearly upgraded the gun on it. I reckon that's a 75 on it now.
It kind of looks like
Likely,
they
yeah.
used a Panzer III turret.
I
Oh my
see
god,
that.
it does.
I mean, not the
Yeah,
gun, but
yeah, and like
Dude, it
the
really
angles
does.
around it.
yeah.
I think I think they
Fucking
did.
Brazilians.
I think they
At
did.
least they at least heavily influenced by it.
Yeah.
We like what they did in Eastern Europe. Let's
I
copy
mean, you know, it was made in Brazil. You know, I'm sure there might have been someone influencing the design of that tank, after the war.
We're not talking about that.
You know, just there might have been someone in the design team.
Argentina? Who do we know in Argentina?
Oh god.
The strange small man with a weird haircut came over and started telling us what to do in a funny accent.
Oh lord.
Uh,
Models of the wonderful M8 M20. Okay. These were the first ones that popped up when I fucking Googled it. Sucked me off, I don't care. Tamiya M8, the old version. Tamiya M8 1:48 scale. And Tamiya M8 newer with a bunch of extra shit. And then you got bolt action M8 and M20 Scout car, Rubicon models, and Italeri. So,
also, Tamiya also do the M20, which is just the old Greyhound, but without a turret
yep.
and a higher price point.
For some reason.
Sorry, totally not salty about that. Continue.
All right, so these are the models we've built. As far as I know, there's only been 2 of us that have built them. Myself, this is mine. It's supposed to be a M8 Greyhound in Normandy.
Okay,
a
I
lot of
do
fun to
remember
build.
this build.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was actually really fucking fun.
Which one was that? It was
That
the
push on Cherbourg.
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, this
Yep.
turned out really good.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm fairly happy with it. Then the next one is going to be made by Don. He made this a Canadian command car, I believe it was. I could not find interior pictures. That I wasn't going to go back in the Discord and look because that would have been forever ago. But I could not find them on his page, and it was like last second before we started recording. I put them up. So, but he did a lot of work on the inside of this thing.
I remember
really
that.
good.
A lot of bitching about it.
Yes,
Oh yes, a
Yeah.
lot of bitching.
A lot of
but he did
bitching.
really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I hit that blanking off of the turret looks really good with like the welds and stuff.
It does. He did an excellent job.
God damn.
I like the brain gun sun on top too.
Yeah.
All right, now it's intermission.
I need to go get another drink. So we're just going to have a quick intermission. Thank you, Garrison, for the M8 presentation. It was very good.
Of course, my pleasure. Thank you for letting me do it. I love
So,
the M8.
We're going to be back with the standard model news and whips and stuff like that. So we'll be back in a sec. All right, and we are back this time. We're up with the old hobby news. So let's see what's new on the menu. And up first from Copper State Models, in 1 to 32nd scale, we have a Henriette HD1. This is their CAD renderings of a World War One biplane. Looks pretty cool. They're dipping into the 32nd scale biplanes now, probably because they're running out of World War One armored cars.
Yeah, they're still sticking to the World War One theme though.
I respect that. Another
Definitely.
something else that doesn't get a lot of attention. World War One.
Yes.
But yeah, so might need to look up the Henriette. I don't know, but yeah, looks very good. From Amusing Hobby, we have a T90 AK with the PTK Russian Commander tank.
Where's the coke cage?
You got to make that yourself, just like them. Hey. But yeah, looks pretty good. Well, it'll look even better if you paint it black and put a big hole in it. But you know,
Yeah. Have the turret, reaching the first layer of the atmosphere. And
yeah.
Or just Russian space program.
Or just have the T90 in the foreground, and in the background, just put an M2 Bradley.
Yes.
Oh, that Bradley fucked it up. I would hate to be the guys inside just having the 25s just hitting constantly.
Oh, dude, their fucking heads they got TBIs out the ass.
Yeah, sorry, your injury is not service related.
Right. Russian version of the VA is like, yeah, no, that didn't happen.
It's
like,
bro.
bro.
It's like, here's the video. This is what it was like inside. Dung, dung, dung. It's like,
like, yeah, that wasn't you. Like, what? I hit the tree, look.
It's like, you can see me climbing out from the drone footage as I'm running away from the grenade.
Not service related.
How good is Amusing Hobby? Have you guys built anything from there?
I about to say, I've heard they're fairly decent, actually.
Yeah. Like, they just do, like, short run stuff, don't they? Or like they do the more obscure things.
Yeah, they do a lot of obscure stuff.
Might have to try and buy one.
I think they do a lot of E-series tanks too.
Yeah. But yeah, T90 AK with PTK. I don't know what that means. It looks like their version of a Crow system with a PK machine gun instead.
Yeah, I think it is their anti tank defense or whatever.
Yeah.
Our missile defense system.
All right.
Some fucking goofy shit.
Moving on. Here's a release that I'm really excited for from IBG. We have in 72nd scale a Romanian IAR-80 fighter. This is one of the few Romanian-built aircraft from the war. It's very long, narrow, looks cool as fuck though. I seriously want one, especially because IGB is making it. I want it even more so. Yeah, the IAR. Not a lot known about it, but it's a really cool looking aircraft, I think.
Looks a little bit like a jug.
It's kind of like for me, it's like a Focke-Wulf 190 mixed with, I want to say, LA5 or LA7.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah, but very cool. Can't wait for this release. Just because Romanian army, Romania not really represented a lot in the Second World War, although they went around a lot. They still had a lot of things. Like they have some very weird. The Romanians had some interesting tanks as well that they built themselves. Actually, even the Hungarians had some cool tanks. The Turins.
Yeah.
We need more of them stuff. But anyway, diverging. IBG, IAR 80, and I believe the IAR 82 is coming out. This one's for Garrison from Tamiya, new tooled of a 35th scale German machine gun team mid World War II. 5 figures. We have 2 guys with a tripod mounted MG34 with a periscope on it. Very cool action pose. And we have an MG42 gunner with a guy with ammo boxes and another guy behind him with an MP40. So Tamiya finally bringing out some brand new figures, and their new figures are really good. Not like their 1970s dark period. You almost finished there, Garrison? You need a couple more minutes? Yeah.
You got a moist towel or something? No, in all seriousness though, I've seen these figures built. They look fucking awesome.
Yeah, especially the MG34 tripod mount. That's just sick.
Yes.
That looks cool. Be a bitch and a half to paint, but it's cool. Okay. Up next,
I wonder what it could be.
From Border, they haven't released any box arts or anything like that, but they will be releasing a 35th scale Boeing B-17G Flying Fortress, of course, at the same time as Masters of the Air. So that's just good time. I think they probably we're going to release this, and then Masters of the Air are coming out, so they were probably timing it right. But a 35th scale B-17, it will be massive. And I would love to have one. I mean, a B-17 is just an awesome aircraft, so having one in 35th scale with like full interiors and all of that, just love to have one.
If I could just get the nose section, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Well, do you know what would be cool? Like if they could get like have the nose section scaled up to maybe even 1/16th, or even like the ball turret, and have that scaled up and then hyper detailed. That would be pretty cool. So you can have a look inside it.
Oh yeah.
They should They should start doing that. Like how they did that with ship turrets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if they did that with like interesting aircraft parts, so you didn't have the entire aircraft, but you had like a section of it enlarged and hyper detailed. I think that would be really cool as well.
Yeah. I think it was Edward at one time. They was making like 1/16th scale instrument panels or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Of course, I'm still holding out for a large scale. Speaking of the ships, I want an octo mount pom pom. Having that in 35th would be awesome. Right. So from hang on, I need to search up the name of this one. It's escaped my mind completely. Good thing about being an editor is I can edit out all the parts that I sound ridiculous in.
Boobs, titties, mommy milkers.
These are just some of the things that Garrison loves.
Big floppy donkey dick.
Hey, don't spread your insecurities on me. Speaking of insecurities.
Oh, come on. My goddamn laptop is just breaking.
Check out podcast planning for insecurities.
Hey, it's a selfie of you.
Price
Price seems a bit high.
How
for
much?
$37.
Yeah, with $17 shipping.
Eesh.
I mean, that's kind of the lower end, actually, if you believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, which is sad.
I don't
God
understand why Dragon is like started like thinking their old kits are made of gold now.
Well, because they're so rare these days. Like, think about it. Like, even at the model show we were at, fucking people were selling Dragon Kids for expensive money.
Yeah, they're all what 5 vendors that was there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, don't get me wrong, Dragon Kits are great and they're awesome. They have a lot
oh
of
yeah.
great stuff, but like, fuck, make them fucking affordable shit.
I mean, yeah, that's a lot cheaper than compared to uh, like trying to find out an actual hobby store.
Oh, dude, if I went to like Hobby Town and that thing was there, it'd probably be like $90.
Oh yeah, there was I forget what tiger it was, but they had it at Hobby Town a couple weeks ago when I went, and they was wanting $95 for the damn thing.
Oh fuck, was it the Tiger 2 and or the Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 in the Ardennes?
No, it was I remember which one was that was Tiger One that was come with Whitman.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Whitman, our hero! We're here for the future.
Ah, here it is. I found the name. Right. Back to it. So, from Vellum in 72nd scale, they're bringing out an Avro Anson C-19. This is the Royal Air Force Air Support Command variant of the Avro Anson. Looks pretty damn cool. Although painting white like that would be a bitch and a half. Up next, from Magic Factory, we have,
Wow.
in 35th scale, an M10 Booker.
That was fucking fast.
Well, I mean, I don't know how they managed to get all their like. There's got to be something that's wrong with it because surely they can't get full access to one of these, can they?
There's
Like-
gotta be something wrong.
Yeah, like they got to. But
Check the Minecraft servers.
the forums, yeah. Have you guys seen the inside the chieftain's hatch on the this or the other one that they're working on? It's pretty cool. You see, like on the front there, and then round on the corners and all of that. You see these little recesses.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Those are all cameras for the driver. So the driver will have a screen, and you can access every single camera. There's cameras all around this thing that he has access to. And eventually,
actually dope as shit.
they're looking at a full VR system. So wherever the driver looks around, looks like he's looking out the outside of the tank. There's no screen or anything, which will be weird, bit disconcerting, but
It'd be like the fucking Apache pilot.
yeah. I think that's the idea. You look around and it will just merge seamlessly with all the cameras. You can look around and not need to use visors or anything like that. But
That's actually dope as shit.
yeah,
Until it stopped working.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just got a periscope.
Bro, but just imagine the 360 security you could have with that guy.
Oh yeah, I think that's the whole point of it. Is tanks you're not supposed to see a lot out of because otherwise it defeats the purpose. I wonder with this though, the Booker and the other one, their engine is a power pack which you open out the back of it, and it slides out on rails. The whole engine it disconnects by you disconnect the diff, and then the whole power pack just slides out as one, and it sits on rails, and you have
Abrams the same way.
yeah, and you have like full access to it. It's the way they do it is pretty cool, and would be a mechanic's dream. I can tell you that. But I wonder if they'd model that because that would be cool, or if you can only do this closed.
Oh.
I don't know, but nice to see something new coming out. Magic Factory have got some very interesting. They're brand new, and they've got some very interesting subjects already. Talk about keep an eye out for them. Wonder what next.
Definitely.
So this is cool. Gecko models in 16th scale are bringing out a Universal Carrier Mark II. This comes with a 40mm 2-pounder in the truck. And I think it's attached on it. I don't think it's one that's disassembled. However, figures will not be included. Neither is the V8 engine that sits between the driver and the co-driver. So that's a bit of a downside. But otherwise, something like a universal carrier is for 16th scale is definitely a good idea. It does have photo etch and it does have full interior details for the driver's compartment and all of that, as well as workable tracks. So, yeah,
I'm
very
sure
cool.
aftermarket to catch on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Also from Gecko, following the 16th scale trend, we have a German 7.5 centimeter Pak 40 anti-tank gun, early production. So, yeah, Pak 40 and 16th scale, good idea. But
The box art looks good.
the box
Yeah,
art
I'll
looks
go with
good, but I don't. There wouldn't be any figures corresponding with it, would there?
No, that's
Made so. I don't know. Something like an anti-tank gun definitely needs figures to go with it. They look
Yeah.
weird by
Yeah.
themselves. I don't know. Maybe they'll be releasing figure sets later on. You'd hope.
Unlikely, but you'd hope.
Yeah. However, camo scheme on that gun, pretty cool.
I do like the box art. Like, I would print the box art out and put it up on the wall. It looks fucking cool.
I'm telling you, they need to start including a poster of the box art in the box themselves.
Yes.
I just wonder where they have live shells sitting in front of the gun, though.
Because why not? I wonder if they put, like, Pak 40 into, like, an AI generator and then that pops up.
Okay, from Flyhawk in 1/700 scale, we have an HMS Achilles, 1939. This is a British light cruiser, and they're also releasing a deluxe edition. I've desperately got to get my hands on this. The Achilles is a cool ship, and I really want to try a Flyhawk ship. Apparently, they're supposed to be really, really good.
I wasn't aware that they was even still making kits.
I think they bring out the occasional one. They mainly do aftermarket, don't they?
Yeah.
They're sort of like it's always a Flyhawk photo etch set or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we have HMS Achilles. I'm trying to think what class that is. I want to say it's like a Fiji class cruiser. Which, if it is, Fiji class came out around 1939, and for a light cruiser, they pack a shit ton of armament. They're really cool.
Let's say you got 2 turrets in the front and looks like a
Two in the
rear.
back, and I think 2 in the back, and I think they're triples. I think they're triple mounts, or no, these are doubles.
Yeah, it looks double.
Yeah, so it can't be a Jamaica class then, Fiji class, but still,
that's a lot of firepower.
yeah, still a great looking ship as well, and great box art as well. I love that.
What's the ship sinking in the background?
Something German, probably.
Probably.
Okay, from Meng, they are bringing out a Lockheed Martin F-35A, F-35I ADIR, Israeli Defense Force, in 48 scale. And yeah, it's a F-35. If Dennis was here, he'd be very excited. I'm not. They're not exciting, I think.
I just wonder, like, my tax dollars went to that.
The only thing I got against the F-35 is we spent so much time and energy out at work working out all the kinks in the F-22 program. Just be like, all right, okay, that's done. Yeah, we still need replacement parts, but we need to concentrate on the F-35 now. And it's like,
I feel sorry for the F-22. The F-22 got shafted.
It did. It was
why don't they use it ever?
No idea.
It's a pity. From Trumpeter, they are bringing out a Fairy Fulmar, Britain's first official naval aircraft fighter, which didn't actually do as well because you have a fighter with an extra person as an observer in it, so it was a bit sluggish and underpowered, but made for a great.
Looks like a
Um,
fucking sightseeing plane.
yeah, it did make for a great gun platform similar to the Hurricane. Just it's got 8 303s in the wings, and it was stable as anything. So if it lined up behind something, it would just pump rounds and rounds and rounds into it. Eventually, it got replaced by the Seafire, but I really want a Fairy Fulmar because I think they look great.
Oh, this
And
this is really cool looking.
yeah, the Fulmar is not is slightly bigger than a Hurricane, but not too much. It's
Yeah, it looks like they took the front end of a Hurricane and then like part of the fuselage of a BF-110 and mated them together.
yeah. I mean, the Fulmar does look Hurricane-ish, even though they're two different companies. So because I think
It looks like it's got the same elliptical rings.
yeah, they turned the Fulmar into the Firefly, and it became a ground attack version, which did well, I think. So
Oh, cool.
yeah. So I hope they bring out one of those as well. But that's it for hobby news. We'll move on to the old whip section because we've got some pretty cool stuff in the whips. I can't wait. Garrison, you're up.
All right, gents. You.
I've been waiting for this the whole time. That's
You
a nice
know-
figure you've got there, Garrison. How'd you paint that one?
Yeah.
You know what sounds really good right now? You know what sounds like it tastes great? My 380. All right. That's a joke.
I
for
love
legal
the
reasons.
fact that Vista Create, I've got the version that I can remove backgrounds. I've been abusing that. I love it.
Obviously.
Just remember, if you're gonna
Mine's-
suck on a 38, do that shit outside. Think about the poor bastard that has to clean that mess up.
Hey, I'd be generous, okay? I'd put up a nice blue tarp on the floor and the wall. All right. All right. So, with the exception of this fucking anime fuck, I've been working on the North Africa group build reluctantly because I really am sick and tired of building on it. But I'm getting close to being done. I've got the universal carrier painted up with the decals on and a pin wash on right now. This was right after I applied the pin wash. Didn't go too terribly heavy on most of it. Mostly the heaviness comes to the running gear and the inside, and then the base there you can kind of see. Fucking anime fag. The painted up. There's a little bit of overspray at the base of the tree and on some of the plants a little bit. That will be fixed with weathering. Right now there's a pin wash or a nice oil wash on it. Letting that sit for a few days before I do some weathering and then matte coat it all.
Very nice.
Very cool.
Like-
I'm loving the universal carrier. The camouflage on it is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
And the Rhino. That's. It's like the decals look great. They did no silvering that I can see.
Nah, and that the 56 you managed to merge in with the damage pretty well as well. That looks
yeah.
good.
Thank you. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that wouldn't be too much of a fuck up when I used a lighter to kind of melt the plastic a little bit and bend it, and I was like, man, I really hope the decals sit well on this, and I had no problems. So
It set very well.
Yeah, very well.
all right, next we
Hey, look,
got
it's Hitler.
Hitler. If Hitler and Eugene Sludge from the Pacific HBO series had a baby and was British. So we got the figures. This is before I added pigments. This was after a pin wash. The front and back of all the figures. I'm fairly pleased with them. They're not 100% accurate. Their kits are just a slight greenish hue, too much. But it's close enough. I'm fine with it.
It's like the one
Yeah.
downside to painting British is their webbing and uniform were so close in color that
Oh,
they're a
dude,
pain in the ass to model.
it was
you got
it was
exaggerated.
killing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I was looking at it. I was like, "Fucking Christ, this is insane."
It's like,
Like-
will you guys please think of us 80 years later?
Right.
We need some color variation here.
So I used beige with a tint of green, which the green one I did like 5 drops of beige and 1 drop of like a light green, and the green went a long fucking way, which works out, whatever. But yeah, fairly happy with them. These figures were a lot of fun to build up, and then I'm just glad they're almost done.
Very cool.
And then something I am so goddamn excited for. This is the whole reason, one of the biggest reasons I'm done with the stupid Africa build. The STRV 103C MBT with 3 resin figures. So it's going to be a Swedish STRV in the snow with a nice whitewash. I'm conflicted on doing just a green, like a nice green with a post shade, or the Splinter camo. The reason
Splinter.
I'm really want to do the Splinter, but there is so much surface detail on this thing. I don't think I could get the sharp edges, even with masking. Like I was looking at the kit itself, and then the pictures of the vehicle, and I was like, there's no way. I'm gonna try, but I may end up, because it's gonna be mostly whitewashed anyways, so there may not really be a point to doing a Splinter camo because you really won't see it. But
At least, like, you could fudge it a lot easier that way.
yeah, that's something I may do, is just attempt the Splinter camo and then whitewash the fuck out of it. Yeah, we'll see. But either way, it'll be whitewashed to hell, sitting on a road just before a small log bridge that's sitting over a Swedish trench that has been overrun by Russian conscript forces. And you'll have 3 guys, 2 with RPGs, 1 with just a rifle pointing to the next target. So the whole idea is that this STRV got destroyed by the AT team because they went on the flank, and then they've pushed up to the destroyed vehicle looking for their next target. Very excited to do snow themed stuff again, and I love the STRV, so it'll be fun to do.
So an extreme work of fiction.
Oh, 100%, yes, 100%.
Yeah, the Russians actually shooting something.
The Russians able to break out of their own borders.
Yeah, all the way to Sweden. That.
Yeah, like they'd ever make it past Finland.
Exactly.
Yep, definitely. They learned their lesson the first time.
Yeah, I can't wait to be called Z Lover for that one.
Alright, no, it doesn't look like much work, but
Sorry.
the picture to the right, that's going to be the side of the ship that I've got mocked up in styrene. It's got some XPS foam backing. And I tried to make my own rivets out of some just styrene round stock. And it's like, yeah, I could do it, but I wasn't getting consistent results. So I went in and modeled up some and 3D printed about 800 rivets. So this should be fun.
Very
Fuck
cool.
yeah. Bless your soul, you're gonna have so much fun.
I'm going to try to make a jig too that I could just lay it down and be able to drill out the holes correctly and then just put them in with some super glue.
And start counting out those rivets.
Yep.
Rivet counter.
Yep.
I'll be thinking of you.
Hang on a minute.
Where your whips at, boy?
I don't know. I know I put them up.
Did you?
Yeah, they're right after Garrison's.
Is that what you told the girl too?
Hang on.
When
Give
I
me a
put
sec.
mine up, there was no one there.
Okay, give me a sec. I'll fucking... You two talk among yourselves.
La da dee da da, la da da da.
God damn
I'm
it.
so excited. Is,
planning.
Oh,
Huh?
good.
So I'm planning on making a trip to Ohio soon to pick up some more mead. So I have a couple bottles for October.
Oh, cannot wait.
It's gonna be so much fun.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be a blast. You kidding me? Like literally a block away from the fucking. Ah, God. I hope Gray can make it,
Oh, me too.
but if not, we'll still have fun.
Then in April, that's gonna be my local IPMS show. I think April, maybe March.
Hell yeah.
But either way, I'm gonna rent a table and try to sell some of my 3D printed stuff.
Fuck yeah, bro. Is that gonna be kind of like your test bed for October, or?
Yeah. It's $50 for a table, so
Choo, sheesh.
yeah.
Damn. I hope
But
it at
hell,
least pays for itself.
we do a good job. I mean, there's 120 vendor tables available,
Holy shit.
and so far there's 21 left.
God damn. That is a
Oh
big
yeah,
fucking show.
it is a big show.
Oh, did I tell you guys where I'm going to be going this year?
Foreshadowing.
I'm going to be meeting up with old Nick, the Scale Armourer.
Oh, nice.
Hell yeah.
Going to Scale ACT in Canberra this year. It's in November, so because I won't make nationals this year because shit's too expensive,
Yeah, I'm
and
not
I have
gonna
a
make it this
mortgage,
year either.
so that rules out anything like that.
I really think if we're gonna do like a IPMS meetup of like all of us, it should be in like 2 or 3 years from now, so we can actually plan for it.
Yeah, because would be nice to actually meet you guys in person.
Oh,
Agreed.
definitely.
Considering now, Garrison, we've known each other we've known everyone for coming on about 2 years now.
Just over, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
How time flies. Ugh. All right, back to whips, and here's what I've been just finished actually. My Musaru Cup build for the old Musaru Cup competition build between all the podcasts. Of course, I was nominated, forced to represent the Micro Machines podcast in the first one that we've been part of, and we got this horrendous ICM Ural 4320 in 72nd scale, and like when every other podcast sits there and goes, "Yeah, it's horrible," it's horrible. It's what an enjoyable kit. However, I've just finished the base for it, which is probably the best base I've ever made for it. This nice little swampy area. Just waiting for the water effects to dry out, and I've already painted the balsa wood border black. Well, extremely dark grey, not fully black. And yeah, hopefully I'll win. I'm not hedging my bets, but we can always hope.
It
We'll
turned
at
out
least
really
be
good.
special.
Yeah, but I'm pretty happy with how particularly the swamp bank turned out with the rocks and the algae and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this.
Fuck
Definitely.
yeah. As you should be, dude. It's looking good.
Well, I did.
Looking damn good.
I was hitting up Garrison and Floki, Clint, a lot about how to do the grass and all of that stuff because I finally got to use my brand new static grass applicator. And
Isn't that fun?
of course, you know what the first thing I do with it is?
Shock
It's like,
yourself.
no, not shock myself, but I did put the grounding wire to the metal on it just to see what happens. And my God, there's a
Fucking
lot of power
goofball.
in them.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
no shitting.
Yeah, it's just
Just
like,
wait until you fucking shock yourself.
I'm good, hey, I'm good.
I've
It
done that
sounds
like 4
painful.
times. It sucks.
When I do, I'll let you know about it.
I can't wait to use my new one I got for Christmas. So pumped.
It's funny,
Nice.
like, I was using it, I was like, I'm not seeing the grass standing up, and then it wasn't until I actually, like, cleaned it up, it's like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
That's
Do you hear that a lot?
more often than I'd like.
Oh.
I'll buy you a beer.
Well, you have to get me drunk first.
Oh, shit.
Ugh, just like Beth.
Oh, hey, don't worry about that.
Nah, but I'm pretty stoked with how this turned out, and yeah,
You should be, dude. It's looking real good.
It does look really good.
I love the HIDF flag. I think it's my favorite part. With the fucking AT gun on the back.
it's not an AT
Definitely.
gun; it's an AA gun. It's a 37 millimeter.
I'm sorry. I've been
And what
I've
kit
been
is the
AT
gun
and
from?
everything. Fucking
Mm-hmm.
Christ.
What are you saying, Clint?
What kit is the gun again?
It's the Zvezda 61K.
Okay.
It's a snap kit, but
Oh, really?
yeah.
Huh.
So so I've made it so it can be rotated and elevated. It still all moves. So
Nice.
I gotta say, it was actually like that little kit itself was pretty damn good. Although I did snap the barrel of it straight away. Like I was cleaning it all, and then the edge of the blade just caught the center of the barrel, and it just snaps. Like, oh, for fuck's sake, already? Yeah. But
That was supposed to happen at the end of the build.
yeah, well, yeah. If you talk to Nick about, he's been hearing my opinion on this build, and like once the photos are done, it's a 50-50 of whether I bloody yeet this thing into the atmosphere. The only thing I've been thinking about is that Horizon Island flag, like whether it should be tied down or not. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just wondering like how I'm going to do that, but I've got
That or just in a massive amount of like duct tape.
Or bricks.
yeah, I'll think of something. But yeah, basically it's finished.
The dead bodies of your enemy.
All right, Mr. Group Build.
Alright, fuck faces. We got like a month left of this shit. Less than a month. North Africa campaign group build. Okay. Ends March 1st. There's a huge prize at the end. It's gonna be great. It's fabulous. Okay. It's gonna be awesome. I think it's like $60 of what I think it's like $60 of model money you're allowed to spend that we'll buy for you. So one person can win only. There's some really good fucking
Oh,
words, goddamn.
judging this one is going to be fucking difficult. I can tell you
Yeah,
that.
it's gonna be fairly hard, and
Yeah.
but that's a good thing. So, but the next one's coming up soon. We'll be announcing it probably next week, which it's gonna be a really good one. But yeah, come join us, get something in, and have fun.
And once you finish listening to us, you should go look at some other modeling podcasts. There are a whole host of them. Of course, we have stuff like Scale Model Podcast, very original name, I'll give them that. On the Bench, Sprue Cutters Union, Built Sideways, Just Making Conversation, Model Geeks, Model Insanity, Plastic Model Mojo, Plastic Posse Podcast, Small Subjects, M Show, and Model by Model by Garpoden. It's a Swedish modeling podcast. It's all in Swedish. So if you know Swedish, go check them out.
I bet you they're gonna find me and kill me for my STRV Dio.
Probably. You know.
I love you, Swedes. I'm sorry.
And of course, a special thanks to all our Patreon supporters: Paul Gallagher, Lord Floki, or Clint. Of course, he pays to be on this podcast. Sucker. Robert Judson and Robert Brisbane. You guys are awesome.
Thank you,
So,
gentlemen.
if you want to join us on Patreon, just go Patreon/Micro Machines Podcast. You will get exclusive content, behind the scenes sort of stuff we're not allowed to say on YouTube.
You're
that's
welcome.
usually Garrison stuff.
Hi, I'm the problem.
Yep, for only $1, $2, $3 a month. You know, don't be stingy. Helps keep the lights on. Helps us with the very, very cool group build prizes and all of that. So yeah, jump on and support us on Patreon. So we've come to the end of the episode. Garrison and Clint, anything you want to add? Anything you want to plug? Anything at all you want to say?
Clint, go for it.
Nope.
Okay, well, thank you for listening to the Micro Machines podcast and this very fun episode about the M8 Greyhound. Looking forward to all the group build entries. Looking forward to you guys hopping on the Discord and showing us what work you got going on and bullshitting and having a good time.
Oh, there was actually one more thing I was going to say. I just remembered. The 48 and 48, I'll do a better presentation on this maybe next week. 48 and 48 hour group build is a charity event hosted by James Skiffin from Just Making Conversation. And I will be one of the hosts, as well as Ian from On the Bench and John will be the Team Australia hosts. However, Garrison, Dennis, maybe Clint, and a few others will be able to join us. And it's a 48-hour group build of something in 48 scale. It's all for Models for Heroes, which is a charity for veterans, mainly in the UK, but I'm sure you could probably have something like that in the US because there's a ton of them.
Military industrial complex.
Which Garrison was a part of.
Yes.
But no longer unless shit kicks off over in the desert again.
Oh, God.
So
He sure loves the sand.
I'll kill myself.
However, I will be one of the hosts for it, so I'm helping them out with it. So, as I said, Ian from On the Bench, he'll be one of the other hosts, and also he will also be on our next podcast episode next week. So make sure you look out for that. He's pretty cool. He does a lot of cool models, and of course, On the Bench are up to their 8th season now, 8 years. So they're sort of the OG model podcast. So be glad to have them on. But gentlemen, until then, we'll see you next week because Garrison's already done the sign off, and I just rudely interrupted, but I don't care.
Suck me.
We'll see you guys next week.
Adios, fellas and gals.